everyone, welcome back to another Plan With Me video. I know that I'm a little bit late this month, but better late than never, right? So October is the fall month, so of course my theme for this month is going to be a fall theme. I'm going to be incorporating different types of leaves and mushrooms as well as some pumpkins. All of the colors that I'll be using for these spreads are once again from the 100 pack of Crayola Super Tips. After drawing in all of my doodles, I'm going in with a 05 micron fine liner and I'm just outlining all of my doodles. To make my title a little bit more bold, I'm taking my black brush pen and I'm drawing in strokes on every left-hand stroke, and this gives it a 3D block effect. Like usual, on the other page I am adding in a quote. So this quote says, "Believe in your fall, it's paving a new way for your climb," and this is by Angie Welland Crosby. I felt that this quote matched up with the theme pretty well. I didn't want to have too many doodles on this page, so for my lettering I'm using various fonts and colors to try to make it a little bit more complex, even though there aren't very many illustrations on there. Now I am moving on into my monthly spread, and for the title I am using a tan marker as well as a darker shade of brown for every left-hand stroke again. For the outline of the calendar, I am using my 08 micron fine liner so that the lines are thicker. So for the components of my calendar, I am using more neutral colors in my color palette, which is the tan and the darker brown. And for the background of the spread, I am filling in the space with different shapes and colors of leaves. And for these colors, I'm using the red, a more orangey toned color, even though it shows up more like a tan on camera, as well as two different shades of green, one that is more green and the other one slightly more yellow toned. Here I'm just finishing off the spread by adding in some details to my leaves with a 05 micron fine liner. This next page is going to be my spending log, which I found was really helpful last month and I really liked the layout of it, so I'm using the same layout as my spending log from last month, and I'm just changing up the design and the colors to match up with my theme. To add a little bit more to this page, I'm taking my red marker and I'm putting in a drop shadow, and I'm also adding in some lines with my fine liner. This next page is going to be for all of my trackers for this month. In the corner here, I'm drawing in two pumpkins by my title. One I made tan, the other orange, and I'm also using two different shades of green for the greenery. I also really liked how the leaves kind of set in place the title. My lines for these boxes turned out pretty straight this time, so I'm very excited about that. For each of the trackers, I'm alternating between the red and the darker brown because those are the colors I use the least in this spread. And at the bottom, I left a space for a quote. This one is pretty short. It just says, "Every day is a fresh start." I'm just finishing off this page by outlining my pumpkins as well as adding some details with a white gel pen. Now I'm going to move on into my weekly spreads. For this title, I'm using my green marker to do some calligraphy, and I am taking the other shade of green to do the outlines for each of the days of the week. For the numbering, I'm drawing in black circles for each of the boxes, and I'm taking my white pen and drawing over that to make it look kind of like a chalkboard. And below that, I'm just taking my black brush pen and lettering in all of the days of the week. For this spread, I'm filling in the background with a bunch of mushrooms of different colors. I'm alternating between the red, the orange, as well as the tan. This white pen that I'm using here is the Signo Uniball pen, and I recently just got it, and I find that it works a lot better than my last one, which was the Jelly Roll. So for this next spread, I'm trying something new with the layout. My days are kind of going to float around this page, and in the center, I'm going to be adding in an illustration of a pumpkin. Here I'm going over some parts of the pumpkin with my marker to add a bit more dimension and make the pumpkin really pop out of the page. I am also adding in some details with the red marker as well. Now I'm drawing in the leaves with the darker green, and I'm adding in little bits of detail onto each of the leaves, and then I'm going to be going over all of the white spaces with the more yellow-green. For this other leaf, I'm using warmer shades, so I'm using the yellow-green, the orange, as well as the red, and this just makes the entire page seem more fall. Next, I am outlining my title with a 0.5 micron fine liner to really make it stand out on the page. I am also going to be alternating with my colors and just drawing a stroke through each of the days of the week to add a little bit more to the page. Now I'm going in with my white pen again, and I am just adding some details to all of the illustrations, and I'm also going to be adding in some sparkle doodles to my pumpkin. Now we can move on into the next weekly spread. This one is actually one of my favorites. I decided to do horizontal boxes this time. All of these boxes are outlined with the 0.8 micron fine liner. You also might have noticed that my nails just all of a sudden changed to red, and that's because I didn't actually film all of these in one sitting. I really tried to pull through this time, and even though I got busy and couldn't film the entire thing at once, I still wanted to finish it so that you guys won't be seeing annual September plan with me's. Here I had to flip back to the other pages to see the dates, which I forgot to fill in, and so here I'm just adding in the dates. I am using this chalkboard design again for this week, and this is actually a really good way to cover up any mistakes that you might have made. You just have to fill it up with black and put the white over top. So for this spread, I'm filling in the background with a bunch of leaves again, and I'm alternating between colors and shapes, and I'm trying to make them all face downwards to make it look like it's falling from above. I also left a space at the bottom for a section to put in lists and notes or any tasks that I have to do that don't have to be completed on a specific date. And I decided to put that into a pumpkin, which I thought added a really cute touch to this page. Finally, I'm just finishing off this page by adding more details with my white pen. So you may have noticed that for this spread, I split each of the days into 3 sections, and that's because I usually use this for school. So for this semester, I only have 2 classes, which are bio and social, and I'm also leaving in another space for other things. I think this layout might be really helpful because everything is laid out and organized, and I can see what I need to do for each subject. And finally, we are moving on into the last weekly spread of this month. So for this title, I'm using my tan marker and I'm drawing in these rounded off block letters. I'm also adding in some accents with the darker brown as well as the white pen. So for this spread, I am evenly spacing out 3 sections on both pages, and I am just outlining these sections with a yellow marker, and I'm taking my white pen again and I'm just adding in these tiny lines throughout to add a bit more to the page. So for this last spread, I wanted to make the theme candy corn, and so I'm using a 05 micron fine liner and I'm drawing in candy corn all throughout the page and coloring it in with the red as well as the orange. And at the bottom, I am putting in a short phrase or quote, if you will, with the green that says trick or treat yourself, but I crossed off the trick or so that it's just treat yourself. Well, that is pretty much the end of this video. Thank you if you have made it this far, and I hope you enjoyed all of these spreads. Comment down below what other themes you want to see me do, and don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video.